If you've ever wondered if you can use an airbrush for crafting, we're about to find out. Stay tuned.
Color outside the lines.
For this project, you're going to need some golden fluid acrylics in a variety of colors, some paint pyramids, and what you want to do with these is you're going to either prop your pieces on it or you can lean them. So those come in handy for painting. These are the pieces that we're going to be testing our airbrush on, and I suggest that you prime them first because you're going to get excellent coverage. As you'll see later, it only took one coat of each of these colors after we primed, so that was great. You're going to need a small cup, and that's so that you can clean your pieces after you've used the airbrush with this airbrush cleaner. We highly recommend this one by Medea. And after we've tested these pieces, we're going to move on to making another gnome hat here. This is one I did previously, and this one is cool because it lights up. Now we're not going to make this one a light up, but we are going to use felt, and this particular one I hand stenciled, so I can't wait to see how the airbrush works. Last but not least is the airbrush. Now this is a cheaper model I have here. As you'll see coming up, I'm going to test drive an Iwata model, but they're all very similar. So essentially you're going to add your paint into the paint pot here, you're going to cover it up, and then you're going to hook it up to the compressor. Now you're going to press down for air and then pull back to release the paint. When you're coming off your piece, you're just going to push forward, but keep that depressed so that you keep the air going. And then as you come back onto the piece, you're going to pull it back again so that it releases the paint. So that's the method I'm going to be using for spraying. We're trying out this Iwata airbrush kit, which comes with its own compressor, and we'll start with spraying these primed MDF accessories that go with our Halloween gnome. I'm spraying golden fluid acrylic in a color called Pyro Orange, and I'm just taking it slow. So I've got the trigger depressed all the way back so that I get a wide berth. Now we'll just finish off the bottom. Okay. It's a good idea to prime your MDF first before spraying because I find that I only need one coat for coverage. It coats so well, as you'll soon see after it dries. Wow, beautiful. This is fun. Here's a few other things I sprayed using different colors of the golden fluid. As you can see, the colors just really pop and they get good coverage. All of these things were done with just one coat of paint. Paint has had time to dry overnight, so now I'm going to try this Posca paint pen. I'm just going to give it a good shake. And hopefully this is going to work. Let's try it on a small area here. Oh yeah, seems to be working really well. So I'm going to finish this part off camera so that I can get up close and see what I'm doing. And we're going to have another really cool item here to do, but this is going to be a little bit different. So let's finish our pumpkin and then we'll get started on this hat. First, for this hat, we're going to cut out a piece of felt. So I'm just going to trace around it and then we'll cut it out with scissors. I could have just painted the wood orange like I did every other piece, but I feel like the felt gives it a real gnome hat feel. Now we'll cut it out. After cutting out the felt, I've got some double-sided tape on here. I'm just going to stick it right over so that I can then airbrush my pattern. I've printed out a piece of acetate with my pattern, and now I'm going to cut it by hand. You could do this with a Cricut, but I'm just going to take some time and use an X-Acto blade to cut it out. So we'll be right back to spray. The stencil is cut. I've got it taped down just in the middle here. I'll do half and then I'll take the tape off and then I'll complete the bottom. And we're ready to spray, so let's get some paint in the gun and let's get going.
As I sprayed, I used a toothpick to hold down the stencil. Keep in mind, unfortunately, the air output from the Iwata kit isn't adjustable, so it's tending to kick up the acetate as I spray. Using a low-tack vinyl cut with a Cricut machine would likely reduce the overspray I got. The one thing that I do like about the air compressor, aside from its portability, is that it does hold the airbrush. So now I've got to peel this piece of tape that I've used to hold down the middle. I'm just going to get that off and then we can continue. In an upcoming video, we are going to be showing you how to hook up your airbrush to a regular air compressor. We're going to use a quick release so that we don't have to take time to fuss with the hoses, screwing it on, taking it off. It's going to be a lot easier. But for now, it was fun to try out this kit. The other thing we are going to change is the stencil itself. I'm finally going to learn how to use my Cricut machine so that I can do a stencil that sticks and prevents overspray.
So it's all sprayed. Let's see how the reveal looks. Let's just lift it off. Pretty cool.
I'm liking that. It was fast and I did get a little bit of overspray, but you can prevent that by using something with a bit of tack on the back to hold it down. Next up is cleaning the airbrush. It's really important that you clean your airbrush thoroughly every time. A quick rinse won't cut it. Probably can't see it, but just a tiny clump can stop it from working. Surprisingly, we find these Oral-B bristle brushes work wonders for getting into all the nooks and crannies on these small parts. We recommend using Iwata Media cleaning solution as we showed you earlier for best results. And here's our Halloween gnome with his beautiful new hat. He fits right in with our other decor. If you're interested in any of these crochet patterns, we have free patterns on the blog and also videos. We'll link to them down below in the description, along with all the other tools we used in this project. If you'd like to be part of our YouTube community, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. Thanks so much for watching Birds of a Feather, and I'll see you right back here in the nest for our next adventure. You can check out our upcycling projects in the links below, or visit birdsofafeather.ca website to search hundreds of tutorials and sign up to join our mailing list.